Hi, my name is Justin Odisho, and welcome to a book review. I tried filming this outside in an interesting location, but there was just way too much wind. I am going to try that again. I have some mic equipment on the way. So if you're not familiar with David Goggins, he's a retired Navy SEAL, now known for his incredible feats of willpower and endurance, such as running ultra marathons consistently, breaking the world pull-up record of 4,030 pull-ups, I think he did. And although this isn't the most poetically written book, it's kind of this type of business and self-help motivational book that I would normally stay away from, kind of out of that phase of reading those kind of books. I still think that he caught my eye he's been on a lot of podcast runs lately, and I still think that there's as he says, he's an uncommon amongst uncommon individuals. I still think there's something interesting in his philosophy, and it deals with the same type of things that more dense philosophical works or religious texts also touch on, which is suffering, willpower, and how much is mind versus matter. And although some philosophies might suggest the opposite of the way he's lived his life, which is, to be still, to go with the flow, to be like water. His philosophy is more like the opposite of that, to push yourself past those mental limits that you have. And some people might say this is masochistic, or, what's the point of putting yourself through so much pain? But I still think there's something to gain from this real life account of someone who I can't remember seeing anyone, or I don't know any popular figure who has willfully put themselves through such torturous things, such as, if you've ever done pull-ups in your life, go do 10, 20 pull-ups. Most people probably can't even do 20 pull-ups in a row, but go do a couple sets of 10 pull-ups if you can, and you'll start to feel that burn in your arms. And just imagine that he did 4,000 pull-ups in 24 hours. He was getting injected with all type of needles. There's some funny, they're not necessarily funny, but his mindset is kind of funny sometimes, where he says, at that point, I had to go to plan B, which was, I didn't have plan. I forgot what he said. He said he had to go to plan B, basically, which means he didn't have a plan. It's a straightforward read. It's just kind of his life story. Lots of marathon running, lots of going to the hospital and almost dying. But it does provide a first-hand account of something different than we're all typically used to. He mentions a lot of times in this book how he would be speaking on panels with scientists or experts in the field of physiology and whatnot, and they would suggest that certain things that has done is physiologically, scientifically impossible, and yet he still proved that wrong. And I think it does speak to something important, that science is constantly being proved wrong, or laws and theories are being tested and new ones are replacing. So sometimes we can limit ourselves based off things that might not necessarily be concrete, such as scientific research or data that's not necessarily as concrete as it's been yet to be proven. So a quick, really simple read. You're not going to be thinking on all types of hard matters, but a first-hand account and example that I think is interesting to ingest, of someone who is uncommon amongst uncommon people. You don't have to go out and try to do 5,000 pull-ups or run hundreds of miles, but I do think in our everyday life, we might not have trained our minds. We might give up a little too easily. We might only use small percentages of our energy. And although this is different than some philosophies that suggest just going with the flow of things, I do think there's some use to that training of your mind versus matter that he touches on a lot in this book. So suffering, endurance, responsibility, and defying the odds, as he says. Those are my thoughts on Can't Hurt Me. I got some microphone equipment and stuff coming in, so hopefully I can shoot these. I don't know why, I just want to shoot these videos outside. The lighting will be better. And if you want to check out the other book-related videos, you can check out the playlist. Hopefully, as I grow this book club, me talking about books playlist, you can check out what I've read and am going to be reading in the descriptions. And if you want to check out this book, I'll leave a link in the description. Love to hear what you think, if you've read this or if you've seen him on some podcast. This playlist will be fun because I want to share what I read and think about, but also hear and have a conversation with you guys. So thank you so much for watching. Can't Hurt Me by David Goggins. I'll see you in the next one.